Yeah, I think we are live. Yeah, it says we are live.
Okay,
So yeah,
good.
okay,
Okay, hi
good.
everyone. Welcome to
So
Sports Curry. I'm Rohit, and I have with me Vaishak.
yeah, I forgot the intro, man. It's been so long. It's been 4 years or 2 years. We did for Euros. No, we did not do for Euros. So we are back after World Cup, from World Cup to World Cup.
Yeah, I know it's
And
been
I
some
think
time.
importantly, yeah, I think importantly, like this is a question you asked, like, is it really worth watching the World Cup? But if you are someone who is, who has not watched any football for the last 1 year, 2 years, or 4 years, then no, certainly go watch the World Cup. I mean, you have not watched anything. So please do watch it. But I think, is it really worth watching football is a question people who have been watching week in, week out have been discussing. It's a World Cup, or is it really worth watching it? And yesterday I think was the culmination of the season, the club season, and it was Champions League final. What was your take on the Champions League final? At least we can start over there.
Okay,
You couldn't hear me?
good,
Yeah.
Vaishak. Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you. I think there's a lag because from where you cut to I cut, there's a lag. So yes, I think
Oh,
that's what I was actually thinking. Vaishak, is it possible to stop and restart again?
I'm not sure. I think we are live, so it's going. Yeah, whatever.
Okay,
It's live.
then it's yeah, because I think there's a
Our
big lag
reputation is
between
spoiled.
what I can hear to what I can hear
Ah,
to what you can hear. Okay, no problem. Okay, I don't know when. Okay, so let's try with this, and we will see in the next time how to improve it. Okay, so
okay.
first thing, whether you mentioned whether the World Cup is having the hype. Before we jump into World Cup, I want to quickly touch upon yesterday's Champions League match because I feel that's going to be a similar theme which we will see during the World Cup, where one team, a strong team, in this case, still sits and defends for like 120 minutes, and the other team tries to break through. PSG was definitely the superior team in terms of quality, but I felt Arsenal came with a very strict, rigid tactic which has worked for them in the league, and they tried to deploy it, and they were, I would say, nearly successful in getting that. And I feel this is something which we're going to see in the World Cup too. So it's people can call it boring football, but in a knockout match, it's an effective tactic and something which I believe is a prerequisite. What do you think, Vaishak? How was Champions League match yesterday? And do you think we will see similar in the World Cup?
So I had no expectation from Daniel Siebert, the referee yesterday. I mean, the way it's not. I mean, again, it's not supposed to be, again, referees. You don't have much big opinions about them, and he did not. I don't think he handled the Arsenal Atletico match well, but I think it was perfect. He managed it perfectly. He started giving yellow card to Mosquera for the throw, and the way he managed the time wasting tactics, I feel that was top. And even certain decisions that I felt like it was worth a final. So sometimes you feel like, oh, that's a foul. Why is he not whistling? And that's how a final works. Sometimes high intensity matches, just for the flow of the match, you sometimes should not whistle too much. And I think he handled it perfectly. And if the referees, I mean, this is a sample for the referees how you have to perform in the World Cup. And mostly in the World Cup, the referees do perform well because you are again selecting the best from every country uh, as much as possible. And so I do think from the way the refereeing was done, it was top. And if that refereeing could happen in the World Cup, I don't think we'll see negative tactics as much. We'll see people, wasting time, falling down, going for unnecessary, games in the box, which I think Arsenal fans would be certainly unhappy because this was the game that they did in the Premier League. Going against the goalkeeper, needling with other players, doing unnecessary fouls, wasting time, and none of it happened during the final. And again, every time you look at the Premier League, people say, "Oh, it is hard. It is hard. Arsenal is being smart," but no, they're not being smart. The referees are not being smart here, and you showed Daniel Siebert was man who showed how to be smart, how to be a smart referee. I was really happy with the way it was refereed. And as far as the match is concerned, PSG started with Dembele, PSG started with Kvaratskhelia. These guys cannot play 90 minutes. They're not at the high level of fitness, and they took a gamble to start with Dembele, especially since he's returning back from injury. And the gamble was he has to score from the first start. And unfortunately, it was Havertz who scored. And even though Dembele was the one who scored the penalty or whatever, he was not effective in the match. So I think in that way, Arsenal did tactically better than PSG on that, or PSG's tactics didn't work out. And if you look at the XG, PSG actually should have scored 2 goals yesterday, apart from the penalty. So end of the day, I think it was a deserving win for PSG, though it was down to luck in the penalty shootout, and Arsenal could have done it.
Yeah, I think people do look down upon defensive football, but that's what I want to be. I want to put this as a prelude for the World Cup, and because that's what I was telling. I feel going into the World Cup, we will see similar matches. Last year, if you remember, when I say last year, last World Cup, Morocco actually came with a similar tactic. I mean, they were in many ways, we can say, an inferior team on paper, and they made it all the way to semi-finals, which was a shock. And we can see a lot more of this. So we will discuss about the teams before we go into teams. Let's talk about why people feel that there is a bit of a lack of hype for the World Cup, because I'm hearing this over forums. Vaishak, what do you think? Why do you think people have a lack of hype for this World Cup?
I don't think we have time to go, but there are a lot of political reasons for this. So I certainly don't think we should be going for the political reasons. But I think one of the reasons is that it's difficult to get visa to United States of America. And I'm trying to make it as political as possible. It has been hard for people. And another part, which mainly people say is that the hype is that, what football fans, as fans, what you enjoy is, you get together at a place. Most probably it is a bar, or it could be, if you want to don't drink, you get together to drink a coffee, and after that you walk to the stadium. And as you walk to the stadium, you get the group. And this is really part of the football culture. And what United States of America has done, that you can't walk to the stadiums. You will be arrested in United States of America if you walk to the stadiums. And also there are a lot of unrest. And I think this is some of the reason why there is not as much hype for this World Cup in terms of fan following. Also the ticket prices. This now you have to you can't only criticize United States of America. You have to criticize FIFA for doing this. They have really tried to scourge the prices, and they have actually tried to get every penny from people and being selfish. And I think that's some of the few reasons. That would be my summary. Yeah, if you have anything more to say.
Valid points. I think what's happening around the world is definitely causing I think a distraction, that people do not have time to follow football to the point which they used to do before a World Cup. So that's definitely a reason. But I feel what you touched upon, the FIFA World Cup pricing, it's been something which I feel FIFA has taken it for granted that fans will come, which I am not a big fan of, to be fair. I recently heard, even when I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, FIFA released a next set of tickets. 80,000 unsold tickets are still available in the market through FIFA. And this came out yesterday or day before yesterday as I'm recording this. So, and what I understood is that even those tickets are still priced high. Someone in Canada who I know was talking about a Croatia match ticket, a group match ticket, is now still put up at 700 Canadian dollars, which is for me really crazy for a football World Cup. And I think this is actually one of the other reasons why people are not yet talking about. But I believe through this podcast, through many other podcasts, people will start talking about World Cup very soon. So anyways, let's come into more of the football part. So what we will discuss here, and what I'm thinking I want this discussion to go is 2 parts. We will not have time to discuss about every single team. There are 48 teams, which personally I'm not a fan of. So there are 48 teams, which is not good. So what we will do is, I will tell Vaishak, for you, I will throw some team names, And what we can do is we can classify them as tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 teams. Okay. So what is tier 1? Tier 1s are teams that are favorites to win the World Cup. They are definitely the main teams in the World Cup. Tier 2 are teams which can make semifinals, but on the day can win the World Cup. So they are there, they're nearly there. They will most probably, if they do not make the semifinals, it's considered as a bad result. And tier 3 are teams which are, if they fail to make quarters, it's a failure for them. They will make the quarters, or they should make the quarters, and then they can still have a improbable but still a chance to win the World Cup. So unfortunately, we will not be talking about the smaller teams, but I will also keep a segment later on to talk about the dark horses. So if you are here to talk about New Zealand, sorry, we will not be talking about New Zealand here in this. So we will talk about the top creamy layer and then some dark horses. So Vaishak, let's start with that. Clear for you, Vaishak?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So let's start about I will throw a team. So let's start with last time World Cup finalist, France. Where do you rate them? Are they tier 1, 2, or 3?
I think it's 1. It's 1.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm completely aligned with that too.
yeah. I mean, there's no discussion. I mean, France, it's a deep squad, and World Cup clearly matters on how you play on that day. But it's also not. I mean, it's also not on a transition. These players have played with each other. They know they know what their team is. They know how to play. They know who plays where, and they have a proper build up. They are defensively good because it's. I mean, the weakness that they don't have a fullbacks has gone into a strengthness for the defense, because they have many ball playing center backs, and it's nothing more to add.
Yeah, I know France. I just recently was, when I was looking at the French squad, and I was actually thinking, I know so many players who could have still made into the squad, and it's unfortunate for them to really miss out. So I think they are very strong on paper for sure. Where do you think, Vaishak, what their biggest, or if you say a risk for them, what is their weakness in their team?
I think it would be the center forward position. Who plays there? Is it Dembele or Mbappe? I think it should be Dembele, because I think Dembele is the one who is more adapted to playing as the center forward. And Mbappe, I think his best position is a left wing, and you could see that in Real Madrid as well. That Mbappe being forced to play as as a center forward, it's not helping. I think his best position would be as a winger. And that I think would be one of the weaknesses, because I think if they had Ekitike, it would have been a huge boost.
Yes, Ekitike would have been the big one. Nevertheless, I think we are nitpicking for France. I think they're extremely good, and for me, they are starting as favorites. So let's come to the next team, which is who they played against, or the current World Cup champions, Argentina. Where do you put them? Tier 1, 2, or 3?
I think it's 2. I don't think Argentina have become weaker. Argentina have only become stronger in the last 4 years, except for the fact that Messi is 4 years older. But Messi, end of the day, what Messi did in 2022 was his magic, and I think he can still produce the magic. And if there is an Argentina team that can deliver to Messi, they can still do it. So it's tier 2. And last time there was some sort of an emotion. They were a bit lucky in certain matches, so if they still have the luck, they can still do it. It's tier 2 for me.
I am thinking, I agree with you. They are definitely not tier 1 for me. And for me, when you said that they are as good as better than the last time, I believe last time they had a lot of things going for them to end up winning the World Cup. And obviously, Messi being Messi at the peak helped a lot. But apart from that, they had a right time delivery at many times. I feel personally Argentina is stretching this time, because I feel their team going forward still might deliver, because Julian Alvarez is, if anything, has got better, and I believe that is going to be their main goal scoring opportunity coming out. The scorer there, apart from Messi, obviously is going to be there. I believe midfield also they have a decent mix, but I believe less experience. Let's see how Rodrigo de Paul and Enzo Fernandez hold their team. But I feel they've got weak. I think they will need a lot of luck to go in, because their defense for me is scratchy again. I'm not a big fan of Christian Romero or Otamendi has got really old. I don't know who they will start Romero with. Maybe Martinez. I know Romero plays well for Argentina. Martinez coming back from injury. Let's see how he plays in. I don't know what their main back four is going to be. So I am skeptical about them. I definitely am not thinking tier 1. I'm thinking tier 2, maybe tier 3. For me, I think if they reach semi-finals, it's good for them. I don't see them even making finals. Okay. So let's go to the next team. When you talk about Argentina, let's go to Brazil. Where do you pose them?
I think so for me they are still tier 2. I don't know, maybe how many teams are there in this class in the whole list?
I've taken 9 teams.
You're taking 9 teams. I think for me it is 2, 6 and the rest. So I think all 6 teams of it are in tier 2. I don't find a difference between Portugal and Netherlands. So I think Brazil for me it's tier 2. They are weak compared to what usual Brazil is, but then it's Brazil. They have the flair, they have the players, and if the players are in form, they can do it. And as it's the same thing. It's the same thing as Argentina. They had too much going in for them. If Brazil has the same thing going for them this World Cup, I mean, it was too much with the referee, with the penalties and everything that that Argentina got. I do think Brazil are pretty much there at that level. They can do it.
I agree with you. For me too. I place them tier 2. I even place them slightly ahead of Argentina this time. I believe they have a bit of more versatility, is my opinion. Okay, let's move forward. The Euro champions, Spain. Where do you place them?
That's tier 1. There is no debate over there. I don't think I had much to add. Yeah.
Yes, for me exactly. Yeah, that's where I think Spain for me showed in Euros, and I think for me they are the biggest competitors for France. Along with France, I even place them along with France. These two are for me the clear tier 1 teams, favorites for the tournament. So that's, I think, good enough. They have very good squads. So we're going to move forward. Next is England.
I think it's tier 2. It's tier 2 because I mean, as much as we talk about England, there is still a doubt. I mean, it's debatable why are they not in the tier 1. They are still they're better than Argentina or whatever. But I still think there is something lacking in this team. Yeah.
England for me, you said rightly tier 2 for me. They are not tier 1 purely because of the defense for me, because they have a very good versatile attacking front. I think Kane, Saka for sure starts. I don't know who the left wing is going to be. It's going to be interesting dynamics. I'm actually, as a Manchester United fan, I'm interested to see who's going to start on the left wing, whether it's going to be Gordon or Rashford, because there is going to be a bit of debate there, because Gordon has gone to Barcelona for 80 million. So I think Gordon will start for Barcelona. Will he start for England? Will be good to see.
Not sure. I think Newcastle got their 80 million. Yes, I mean, which United didn't. I don't think. I think Rashford might be starting at the given form, because I think Rashford is what you need to win the match. Like, already England is lacking something. So I think Gordon is something that you do after you already won the match. You need someone to have the work rate. That's my opinion, though. Let's see what Thomas Tuchel does. But I think there is also in England there is also debate about, because English Premier League is more vast, because people know more players, there is more discussion about the players who missed. And I think especially players like Cole Palmer. But you have to understand, end of the day, what you need is 26 players in one camp. The problem with taking some players is that, especially players like Jude Bellingham, there is a tendency of them forming camps. And then it's a decision whether you take Jude Bellingham or whether you take Cole Palmer. And I think what Thomas Tuchel has done is that he has avoided the players who might be capable of forming camps. So it's tough, but this is something which we all discussed when Lampard and Gerrard were playing, and then you can't take the same player every time. And Thomas Tuchel has a decision that he does not want to do that. He does not want the 26 best players. He wants the 26 players that can form a squad. So yeah, let's see what England does.
I think that's what even Brazil did, actually. I was actually looking through Brazil's squad. It's very similar. I think that's what, when you go to tournament, that's what you need to do. I completely agree with what you said. Because English Premier League is followed more, people are having opinion, but I mean, I do have my own, but it's not in whether Cole Palmer was picked, whether it's because Harry Maguire was not picked or not. Because I feel for a World Cup, especially the England defense, what it is now, Harry Maguire could have been extremely useful, at least if not as a starter, because they do have better starters, but at least to come in those key moments in the last second to score a header, to keep a low block, to defend extremely good with headers in either of the boxes, and also a very good penalty taker. So we saw yesterday it's going to be important going forward in the knockout matches. So I feel that's where they miss out. But okay, let's not delve deeper into England more. So I come to you, Aishak, for your favorite team. Where do you place Germany?
I think it's tier two. It's tier two again. I don't think they have too much going, and I mean, the interesting thing would be how fit Musiala is. He's still not back from his injury. I mean, he played for 3 months, but you can still see that he still lacks his old way of game, and he can't play 90 minutes as well. So if this 1 month, if he's able to get back to fitness, Germany might play good. But if Musiala itself fails, Florian Wirtz is not in great confidence from his Premier League season, it would be tough. So yeah, but if things start going for them, yeah, they are there in the tier two. They can do it.
For sure, Germany has very good. I think for me personally, the biggest shortcoming is not having a good striker. It's going to be Musiala for me. Wirtz and Musiala will have to do the scoring.
I think I have a small correction, because I think people have watched Nick Woltemade and they have got the wrong idea of Nick Woltemade. He's a good ball playing striker, but what happened in Newcastle was that there were a few balls in the air and he headed them in, and then people thought, oh, okay, the best way for this guy to score is just put the crosses, and that just didn't work for Nick Woltemade. It's the same thing Newcastle did with Joelinton. They're doing right now with Woltemade. I do think Woltemade can be a good centre forward, but then he's not a top centre forward. No, there is no, but he's better than what he did in Newcastle, though. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So let's move forward now. I think for me, the next team is Netherlands. And I will start with Netherlands because for me, this is a clear tier 3. I know we have a lot of debate during our forums, and we put Netherlands at the same level as England and Germany. For me, Netherlands is personally a tier 3 team. Unfortunately, they don't have a striker. I don't know. They're going to start with Memphis Depay again. I think it is at least 6 years too late for Depay to be a main frontline striker. For me, he never was for starters. And I think their defense with De Ligt was not there in the squad. He's injured. Van Dijk having a very dodgy form. I don't know. I feel their team, if they make quarters, I would be thinking that's all they've achieved. I don't think they will go beyond quarters. This is my bold prediction for Netherlands. After you, Aishak.
I mean, I can't bet they will go above quarterfinals or something. That's because I mean, every tier 2 team has quarterfinals is most of the thing that they can reach. Maybe semis, but I do think Netherlands is tier 2 because of the last tournaments. The way they went out against Argentina, it was a very close finish. It was there was some a few very controversial calls against Argentina. They could have actually nicked it in, and Argentina, after all those calls being not given, Argentina was given a penalty to make it 2-0. So I think Netherlands had Argentina by their neck till the last moment. And same thing if you look into the Euros. Again, there was one goal that was not given. There was a simple penalty that was given to England, and it was tight for England as well to get past Netherlands. It was tight for England to get past every team, including even Slovakia or something. But I see Netherlands have done that in the previous tournaments. I don't think Netherlands have improved in the last 2 years, as you say, because they have not found anything new. They have not found that young center forward who's now going to replace Memphis Depay. But for me, they are tier 2. There's not much gap between England and Netherlands, as we actually saw during the Euro 2024.
Yeah, that's good. And the next team is Portugal. So I'm wearing a Portugal jersey. So where do you place Portugal, Vaishak?
It's tier 2. There is no doubt. There's no doubt. So this one can be debatable. Some people might want them to be tier 1, but then they do have their obvious weaknesses. They can't name 11 without Cristiano Ronaldo being in, And as just as Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo can still do his magic, but can he do the other stuff which the team needs? Can he drop back? Can he be a player? And that is where Ronaldo has been lacking. That is where Ronaldo has been out of Europe, because it's not enough, just doing your magic.
I have slight differences because I wanted to put it. No, I don't want every team to go to tier 2. So what I've done is I've taken 3 tier 1 teams. So for me, it was France, Spain, and Portugal. And Portugal for me is tier 1 for sure, because the reason is because I agree Ronaldo is a big elephant in the room. But I think Gonzalo Ramos can play that part. It really depends on what Martinez does it, whether Martinez starts with Ronaldo. Because for me, Ronaldo as a super sub comes at 60th minute. I think he still is an excellent finisher. He can still score goals, can decide games, better than many other players across the world, not just in Portugal. So for me, that's there. And apart from that, their midfield is extremely good. I think in form, if you really want to pick teams which are in form, then I think their midfield. Just yesterday we saw João Neves and Vitinha playing. Bruno Fernandes has been a dream there. Bernardo Silva is definitely going to be there. So so I think it's, for me, they are a very, very good team, a world-class team for me, and I put them in tier 1 for me. And the last team, I took them there in this lottery or in the set of teams, is just because I believe they did extremely well last World Cup, and I mentioned about them, and that is Morocco, and they're currently the 8th ranked team in the world. So what about Morocco, Ishaq? Where do you see them? Will they reach quarters or semis?
It's tier 3. It's tier 3. I think there are a lot of teams from Africa who are very interesting. I'm also similarly interested to watch Algeria as well, especially living in Paris, and Paris FC player Kebal is an Algerian. Morocco, as you saw yesterday, we saw Ashraf Hakimi. We have Mazraoui in Manchester United, and they have reached the World Cup semi-finals, and there are a lot of people who know the Morocco players as well. They have been doing good in the African Cup as well, and Morocco is there in tier 3 for sure. There is no debate about it, but they're not tier 2.
Yeah, I think I put it there because we wanted to also cover some African side of it. For me, Diaz is another very, I think, good player who can really shine this World Cup. We'll come to that in the next episodes where we say who the players who we can look out for. For me, so I personally, again, just to summarize, my tier 1, 2, 3 was: tier 1 is France, Spain, and Portugal. Tier 2 is England, Germany, and Brazil. And tier 3 is Argentina, Morocco, and Netherlands. So this is how I put the 9 teams in. I know you have slightly different tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, more biased towards tier 2. This is mine. So let's move forward to the last part of section of this by live telecast, which is going to be about the under or the potential dark horses. We don't need to name everything. Vaishak, I let you name 2 dark horses. I will name 2, and we can conclude the session there.
I'm not sure these are dark horses. So apart from the 9 that we named, these are actually dark horses. But the teams that I'm really interested to watch, and I think one would be Austria, the other one would be Japan. And it was close. I think Norway was also in the mix, but I think I'm moving more towards Japan and Austria. Japan for a reason, because there has to be one team from Asia, and Japan is the high flying team. They are developing every year, and you see that development. You saw them in 2014, you saw them in 2018. That was a completely different team. They took Belgium, till the last minute, and then you saw in 2022 they actually beat Germany coming back. So that was a comeback win, and that was really brilliant to watch from Japan. So I'm really looking forward for Japan. And Austria, again, because they, from the tier 3, I think they have one of the best midfield and they always had good midfielders. And I'm looking forward to what Austria can do. It's at the front and the back that they have actual problem, Austria, but the midfield is really good.
Okay. Oh, sounds good. Yeah, Japan definitely. I think they beat, correct, if I remember right, they beat Spain also last World Cup. in the group
Yeah.
stages. I think they were Spain and Germany,
No,
I believe. Yeah.
no, they
So
beat,
yeah,
yeah,
Japan
they didn't
definitely.
beat
I'm looking
Spain.
for.
They didn't beat Spain. They didn't beat Spain.
They
No,
drew
they beat
Spain.
only Germany. I
Okay,
I
I
don't
don't
remember,
remember
but
that, but yeah, I remember
yeah.
them. Germany for sure. Yes, you're right. So, anyways, coming back to I would say dark horses, potential teams. And they're not going to win the World Cup, but I think they can make some big upsets, reach maybe quarters, and if they're really lucky, semis, like how Morocco did last time. I believe this time for me, the two teams are going to be one is I'm choosing Colombia because I think Colombia, especially weather, because we are talking European teams, and I think in hot American, Mexican climates, these European teams might struggle. And for me, Colombia has a very good chance. Obviously, they have good players. James Rodriguez is still there and is still playing well. Luis Diaz has been excellent for Bayern Munich in the last year. And there is Lerma. So they have good players in the squad. And they were also the Copa finalist. I think they lost to Argentina in the final. So they are a very strong team in form. So for me, they are one of the dark horses. I'm actually thinking they will make quarters and on their day can even make semis. And the other team, I have gone the other way around. I think you touched upon it. You mentioned Norway, so I won't talk about Norway because I love their style of play or what they've done in their UEFA qualifications. They won every single match. They beat Italy 4-1, if I remember right. So they have made some big upsets. They have some really big names. I think in striker front, I don't think there is a Haaland is as big a name as any other team has. So that's and apart from Haaland, they have some really good players also there. Odegaard, Arsenal team, Kingpin there. He is also part of the squad. So they have some big names there in their team, and they're playing really attractive football. But what exactly I told about Colombia is going to be their problem because Colombia will thrive in the weather. I don't think Norway will. And that is where I feel the struggle is going to be. Luckily for them, I think the initial matches are in the northeast of US where it's relatively cooler. But I think once the knockout starts, I think they might struggle. I want to just quickly mention one small team I really am interested in because I think their golden generation is fading away and they have still a good potential is Senegal because Sadio Mane, Edward Mendy, Koulibaly, all of them are in their last parts of their career. But I think they still are a good team and they are in a very interesting group with France, which I think we'll let you know. We'll see how they're going to progress. So that's pretty much about this session for us. Anything else you want to add on, Vaishak?
No. Yeah, I mean there are teams from Africa and South America. I mean we missed a tons of team. I mean this could also
Oh,
be
for sure.
Uruguay
Yes.
who's also doing Uruguay who's also doing, but Uruguay is more tier three. They are not they are not dark horses or something. I mean Austria and Japan are tier three. They can if they can reach that semi-finals like Morocco did last time. Yeah, let's see. I mean. Maybe not so much as of Japan, but we don't know. I mean, I really want to see what they can do. Anything to add? No. I mean, are there any questions? No, I think only the two of us were there in this. I don't think many people were watching.
I saw a comment there.
But,
Arsenal football is dark and negative. Happy that
yeah,
PSG won. Okay.
happily that is coming from a United fan. So yeah. Uh, but yeah, but
Okay.
that is it's true. It's true. This is not coming from an Arsenal fan. So I mean, but there are many Arsenal fans who have to agree that as well because I've seen the Wenger days, and this is not certainly the football that you like to watch. And for one full season, people have been saying, no, it's hard to catch. They waste the time. They do that in the penalty box. I really don't want to see much of that during the World Cup, And just one point, you said that it's sometimes people have to play it. It is understandable when Atletico Madrid does it against Real Madrid because Atletico Madrid does not have the squad of Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid does not have Ronaldo, Gareth Bale kind of a player, and that's the only way Atletico Madrid can win against Real Madrid. But Arsenal have as a bigger squad than PSG in terms of they have the 22 players, and PSG don't have anyone on the bench to bring on. Like it's not PSG from the starting 11 to bench. There is a clear drop. Like maybe there is Zaire Emery who was there on the bench, but if Zaire Emery starts, Fabian Ruiz is a drop. And Arsenal don't have it. Arsenal have like 24 players or 25 players who are actually of the same category. They can play 120 minutes. If you play longer, Arsenal is the one that will last PSG in this match. but it's just that they don't want to play. They just want to play negative. That is when it really hurts. You cannot give that concession when Arsenal is playing PSG, that you might have given to Atletico, when Atletico is not that weak a team. But you give that when in World Cup, when Japan is playing against Brazil, they have to do it. It's not like if they do something, if they don't attack, they don't play free flowing football. It's understandable, because there is no way Japan can do against Brazil otherwise.
Yeah, I think that's for today. I think for next session, a couple of topics we will discuss about is, we have 3 host nations, and I think let's see how they can proceed in the coming World Cup. We'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about who can be the key players to look out for, and then we can start with our prediction contest in the next session. So thank you, Vaishak. Thank you, everyone.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.